What year did you ladies move to Ossian?
After I graduated in '54.
Spring of '54. I graduated in 1953 from Monona.
Oh, Monona.
Yeah, and I
and-
did too.
And she was in '54. And when I graduated, in that next fall, then I went to Mercy School of Nursing
In
in
Dubuque.
Dubuque. Yeah. And so then next spring in '54, when she graduated, right after that, then they moved up here, and they bought the bar.
Oh,
But Pinger Kelly, if anybody knows that name, well, he was an honest to God businessman. His name was Pinger Kelly.
Lloyd
Pinger.
Kelly's
Dad, yeah. And they bought it from them. Actually, they kind of maybe just exchanged things.
Yeah.
They took my parents' home in Monona,
Oh,
and they ran the bar. They come up and ran the bar.
oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Did you guys live upstairs at that time then, above the bar?
I did for a while.
I mean, did your folks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan and Jane were just little.
Mhm.
And Pat was out of high school, so she lived there for a while until she married Paul.
So your parents moved to town with the intention of opening the bar or
Well, they-
doing the trade or,
Yeah, it was a business trade.
okay.
Mhm.
It was right down below the apartment.
And to be clear, you want to tell us your parents' names again?
Eunice and Elmer.
Elmer. And Elmer had a nickname. What was that?
Red.
Red.
Yeah.
And why did they call him Red?
He had good red hair.
So you lived above the bar. How long did you live above the bar?
And I didn't live too long because then I met Paul. He wanted to get married. He was 6 years older than I was.
6 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I was just 18 when I graduated. 17, 18.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I was just a young pup.
And Paul worked in the same neighborhood, right? He worked at Kay Hills at that time?
Yep, he did the butchery down
Kay
there.
Hills Market.
Yeah,
Mhm.
What was your parents' bar called?
Reds.
yeah.
Reds?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
I did not know that.
And how long did he have the bar?
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
54 until 58.
Okay.
Mhm.
And he decided to get out of that, or?
I think it's a matter of having to.
Well, at that time, there was, how many bars in town, do you remember?
5.
5?
Wow.
5 bars. And
Yeah.
one, was the liquor store going at that
Yeah,
time?
never was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we had the hotel across that was operating. And I guess you could use the hotel.
Herbie and Hazel Swinepost had that bar.
Okay.
Then there was one up by, Pipes.
Myers.
Yes. And then Leonard Schroeder had it too for a while. And there was a bar in there. And then it was Swybeimers or Claire Riley's or whoever.
Which is Bambino's now?
Bambinos now. And then there was the one up above me there, Staskis.
Staskets.
Staskis was there. And then after that, there was Kerner's after. And then across the street, that one came in later,
So 5 bars,
at least.
yeah.
Yeah, they were all kept busy.
And when you moved into town, did you realize the alcohol heritage of Ossian?
No, not right away.
Oh,
Yeah, because
And she might have.
yeah,
She's old.
Sunday mornings was a big deal.
Sunday mornings.
Oh, yes. Yes, people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That I
They
had
weren't,
not
they weren't
heard about
open,
church.
but yeah, absolutely.
And Joni, to be clear, your husband's name?
Donald H. Schroeder.
Donald H. Schroeder. And when and where did you meet him?
I got a job with Dr. Henry. And I worked with him up here and stayed with my folks in the apartment up there in the bar.
And where was Dr. Henry's office?
Where it's a,
Where it is right
yeah.
now?
Mhm.
Okay.
And I worked for him for about a year. And then, of course, I met Don somewhere along the line. I suppose it was through the business down there.
Okay.
And then we were married in November of '55. And then I didn't continue working there because he was employed with Riley. You know, they moved here and they moved there. And I wanted to go along, so I did.
And what did Don do for Riley's?
He was the blade operator,
Blade operator.
the best,
Mhm.
I heard. So we've been in Ossian all the time, though. We maintained our home there and raised all the little guys right there.
You worked with Dr. Henry for a year or so. What was Dr. Henry like? This, to be clear on the film, this is Dr.
Dr. C.R.
He probably had a pretty good
Yes,
business.
he did.
How many dentists were in town at that time? You remember?
I'm not sure if Dr. Miller was
I
still
think-
around
was
then
he?
yet.
Do you remember much of Dr. Miller?
Well, he had an apartment. Mom and Dad lived in that apartment above the bank, above Wessel's or whoever was there. They were to the left. They had the big one on that
Yeah,
left
kind of
side.
what the last business was like Uni's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dr. Miller had a little shop, or his office, dental office is right to the top of the steps to the right.
Joanne, did you finish your nursing education? Were you?
Well, yeah,
Registered
after I
nurse?
got home and got married and had 6 people, little guys.
You're
and
sure?
ICC opened up, or Area 1.
Good.
Where were your classes at for NICC?
Well, they weren't in that school because they didn't have
Yeah, I
the school.
know, because there was some in Kelmer, and
Yeah.
there was in the Dessel building over
Yeah.
here.
Fort
we
Atkinson
were.
too, yeah.
For you.
So then I went back over there and I was in the first class of nurses over there. So I did finish,
Good.
much to
Where did you work at then?
Decorah.
How about you, Pat? Did you always live in the house after you got married?
Yeah, we lived in an apartment first,
Mm-hmm.
up down there,
Yep,
and then bought the house there.
okay. And tell us what Paul did at Cahill's.
He butchered down the basement.
As our dad did too.
Red did too.
Oh yes, he was the butcher down there.
Well, that's another thing that future generations are going to have a hard time believing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as kids, we remember when there was the stock area behind Cahill's where
Yeah.
they would unload the cattle into
Yeah, and Schroeder.
yeah, kind of blood room there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Paul worked in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how fresh your meat was.
Yeah.
How long did Paul and Red work at Cahill's?
Well, Paul was only there a couple of years, I think,
Okay,
because then he got on the tank wagon.
sure. And the gas truck.
35.
Remember driving that gas truck
Yeah.
many places, yep.
Al Joe always had to be with him.
Mm-hmm. That's quite a good memory, you
Yeah.
know. And Al and Joe would have his handkerchief and then he'd wave. And both your husbands are veterans, right?
Yep. Yeah, they are.
And Don was
He
World
was-
War II,
Well, he was in the Bulge.
Battle of the Bulge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
And then he was coming out of there, and that's after they got the Hitler they
yep.
got rid of him, and they were advancing toward Berlin, and then a shrapnel or thing shell hit, and it landed between a bunch of guys, and they all split, and he got it in the back.
What would you say was the busiest times of the week?
Probably Friday night.
Yeah, right.
Friday night. Wednesday was everything was open too, but I think Friday night was there.
Yeah, it was.
Fish
Friday and
fries.
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stores were all open.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The grocery store next door was Barthamy's, Mars and Eleanor, and it was busy.
Mm-hmm.
And it just this end of town it was Staska's and the bar up the street there, and it was just a lot of people would come in from their farms and they'd buy their groceries, and it was just a lively town. When they
Where
built
was
the
the
new one.
post office before it was now?
Up
It was
there.
by the Kier.
By
Kales.
Kales? Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in that line of businesses, the post office and the Alliant and or Interstate Power,
Yeah, they were there.
a dime store, Western Auto was in there at one point.
Do you remember when Schmidt's Furniture burned?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that, about fire, and then there were some bodies that they had moved.
My grandmother's body was in there.
I'm not sure
That
what
was
the,
the night of the wake.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you remembered that. Did you, because the fire, I think, started early in the morning, like 1 o'clock or something like that.
Right.
What was her name, Randy?
Anna,
What year was that?
63. And speaking about things like that, do you remember when the Monroe family died by Castalia?
Yes,
They
Right
used
up
to
in the
live
gym.
yes.
down in Spillman's, had a restaurant up here, and there's a apartment underneath there. And this Monroe family lived there for a while.
Oh, they
And
did.
then I think that's when they moved out there, but I remember them very, very well, because when this happened, I thought, you really felt bad, because you felt like you knew her.
I just remember it was at the old gym,
Yeah,
and all the news trucks sitting outside, ABC, NBC, remember those? And then all the caskets lined up, made national news, it was a big deal.
One
Sad.
wasn't on
Do you remember Buck Doan?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. You remember Buck, don't you? They teased the hell out of that poor old guy.
I was just reading about him in that book, about the years that he was around.
I think he was actually a pretty talented man, you know, other than alcohol getting in the way.
Yeah, and then he'd drive his truck and the kids would pile on the back there. That's the only thing I remember about him.
Yeah,
You and Bob and Brian and,
probably Dave or
yeah,
somebody.
and he waited for them too. He knew what they were gonna do.
What would you do?
You were no surprise. They'd climb on the back end of his truck and
Bounce
kind
it.
of bounce it, and then he'd try to bounce them off and drive, and he did. He threw off by his
Yeah, on the highway.
dead.
Yeah.
I don't think it deterred him any, did it?
Well, I don't think
No.
it did. I think it did. I think he got hurt. But Buck was game for it too. He knew what they were gonna do.
Yep. Buck was an old sign man in town. And
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
he made neon, and he would blow glass and form it, and
Really?
you know, he did
He had
beautiful
talent.
work.
Mhm.
Yeah. Of course, back in the day when you ladies were getting out of high school and stuff, people were having, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids.
Oh yes.
you know.
Our community over here was everybody in our Hines had 7. We had 6. Kaczynski's had
9.
9. Who else was around there?
Sure.
Chisels.
Chisels.
Campsites.
We just
Said there was 42 kids within that Kleisert edition just up the street.
I wouldn't know that.
So
And there's people that didn't have as many, but they had 3. Beckman's across the street were 4, maybe.
Mhm.
I mean, there was plenty of kids.
Back then, did you just kind of let the kids go and go sledding, and
Oh.
come summertime, you open the door in the morning and saw them in the evening? And
We did. They remember it too. When the church bell or something, that was the time they better be home for supper. It was a fun time for kids, for my kids, because they could play. They talk about playing ball over there in Schmidt's yard and
In our yard first.
years.
Then they broke a window and they said, Paul said, no more.
Yeah, then they were over
So,
there.
yeah.
And it just
Broke a basement window.
it was a good place to raise kids, and you found that out with Al too,
Oh,
because
yeah.
they took it. Kids all took good care of that.
Yeah,
young
they
man.
did.
They knew where he was.
Yeah.
Everybody in the neighborhood knew Al.
they watched out for
They
him.
watched out
Yeah,
for
they
him.
did.
Yes, sir.
He was standing over here in my yard. And they said, he was watching them play ball. And they said, Alan, why don't you come over and join us? Gallop to gallop. He
Yeah,
went
let him take his turn batting and let him run. And it was a good time
Yeah,
to
it
raise
was.
Alan.
Yeah.
I could still hear him laughing as he's going from base to base.
Yeah.
He didn't hit it that far, but they let him run all the bases.
Sure.
Alan, you got a home run.
A lot of games at Silver Springs. Did any of your kids play at Silver Springs?
And I think one bunch of them did.
Yeah.
Alan had to go watch every game.
Yeah.
He would go down, like to go down too, and he'd park the truck up there. And he and Alan would sit there and watch the games down there.
Yeah.
So he had a good time.
Yeah,
They get a lot of people down there.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they
did.
used to, yeah.
Yeah. Our town will never be like it was, but
No, it won't be.
anything else that you would want future generations to know about Ossian, and any words of
Well, all
advice
I
or
can
wisdom?
say is they missed out on a lot of interesting Ossian because it was interesting back there. There was a lot of businesses, there was a lot of people in town. It was a nice little town.